Welcome back, listeners. This is the Dream Stream of Consciousness podcast, and I am Yiskah Koock.
And I'm Ellen Ronis.
It's so good to be here. We were just talking about, well, I think we can start with how the weather can really make the mood. So you were
Yes.
saying, what is it, like the San Andreas winds?
No,
What?
this is just Santa Fe has a windy season. It's
Okay.
just it's typical, every year. I think it's a little bit more extraordinary because of uh La Nina, El
Uh-huh.
Nino.
Uh-huh.
One of these things is
El
happening.
Nino.
El Nino or La Nina. There's one
See,
of those, and I don't know
see.
what the difference is. One of them is happening, and that does, I think, affect everything just a little bit more. Like they say, we're going to probably have a much hotter. God, I can't even imagine a hotter
There were
summer.
just tornadoes
Yes,
in
in
southeast.
Texas. In Texas, yeah.
I think, of course, it must all be connected.
I totally. I mean, we're very close to Texas, so it's not
Yes,
doesn't surprise me in a way. But yeah, it's just been super windy, which is
yes,
it's very agitating to the spirit, and it's not just
yes.
I feel it strongly, but everyone feels it. Like it's one of the
Everyone's on edge.
everyone's still like, oh God, when is this going to be over? Because it's spring and it's beautiful, and we want to
Yes,
get outside, and it's just
yes,
like hard to
yes.
actually. It's very dry here too, so it's very
Sand whipping around.
dusty. Yeah, exactly. So everybody's
Mm,
grit in their eyes and their nose.
yeah,
It's unpleasant.
I could see that it would be.
Yeah, it'll be over hopefully.
It will.
Sometime soon.
So I have a dream that I'd love to work on with
Great.
you.
Good, because I haven't been. Yeah, I don't. So good.
You don't have it. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no, it's
this one's a little um I think it's in the right order. Anyway, I hope I'll be able to tell it as one story. This is one dream.
okay.
I am in the house. Carla is there in the kitchen. I think I was watching something on YouTube and they were saying something that I was agreeing with, which is if, I was a Waldorf kindergarten teacher, and if two children really aren't getting along, then arrange a play date for them and then they'll have time together. And then we are talking about fear, and everyone has fear, and that everyone has fear. And the action was to give that person a lion, a blonde lion. And then I sort of think that anyone would be happy having a blonde lion. um, and I asked her if she would like one. And she's not sure. And then I also am not sure. And then there's something about positive and negative, maybe looking at the ramifications of everything. And then this dream, the last thing I write is, it feels like it has import. So that's the dream.
So what I do, may I ask a sort of a clarifying question?
Yes.
I was closing my eyes because that's the way I
To
can
picture
visualize.
it, sure.
Yeah. The very last thing that you said is something about positive and negative. Is that just that was something that you sort of analyzed inside the dream? Like, oh, seems
Oh,
like,
what a good question.
yeah. Or is that something that you just wrote afterwards
I
as well?
think I wrote it after. I think
Okay.
I wrote it out. We've talked about the struggle with being a dream worker is that one is often analyzing the dreams while she is dreaming them.
While we're
or,
actually in the dream, yeah.
or just after, Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. A blonde lion. Wow.
Blonde lion.
Yeah. So, does your dream have a title, or what would you title it?
Lion for courage.
Okay, so we know the lion aspect of that is has some deep significance.
Mhm.
Um, and how did you feel? both, well, how did you feel inside the dream first?
Um, in the dream, it felt like I was thinking through things and solving things and um, almost philosophizing, like, oh, if two kids aren't getting along, Um, but when I came out of the dream, I guess, is when it felt like, oh, this is an important dream and I need to really take a look at it.
But was there like an emotion? I mean, that's kind of more of a thought process. But do you have a sense of an emotion?
Um, I mean, just I guess excitement that this was a dream I could really unpack and get some good learning from.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. That was the emotion. It was just it was also the thought, but the thought in a
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah. It sounds a little bit like an emotion with a thought overlay.
Yes.
um, so, reality check would be. I'm curious about. You have a friend Carla who has been on this show
Yes.
quite a few times,
Yes.
and I don't know her very well, but she seems like intelligent, sensitive person who, also does dream work.
Yes.
And I'm curious also about she's in the kitchen. So does that
Yes.
have any significance to you? Like it
Well,
does to me, but
yeah, it does. I mean, just as a general thing, one could think of a kitchen as where alchemy happens,
oh, that's
mixing
interesting.
things together, magic. Um,
Ah.
but also right now she owns apartments in Rosendale, and I'm thinking of moving before September into one of the apartments, but we're weighing out the ramifications, and so that, of course, makes me think of that. Like, well, it would be amazing because I could be more involved with her. She has um,
Mm.
women's retreats at her apartments, and I would be involved with her in that. Um, so I'm just trying to see if that would be right for me and for her, for me to live there. Um, I don't really have a kitchen um, projection with her.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
recall anything specific.
I guess for me, my projection of kitchen is like, a friend in my kitchen feels very nourishing to me.
Yes,
It feels very, to me, the
yes.
kitchen where one gets nourished. I love your take on it though, that it's alchemy because it is that too.
The heat, the
Sure. Yeah.
fire, the
Turns
water.
turns something into something else. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
beautiful. And yeah, and the nourishment, and maybe, in your
Yes,
um,
love
I
that.
guess if I'm going to project in my dream, it's like
Yes,
if if my mind, my psychology, is trying to work out this decision, this possibility in waking
yes,
life,
yes,
that maybe I'm being given this kind of thing that feels nice, feels like
yes,
this, like it would be nourishing to have a friend close by or to be in this place where my friend owns.
yes,
Just just that
yes.
piece of it. Um,
I love that, the nourishing aspect.
yeah, of the kitchen. Yeah,
Hmm.
really. Um, and uh, then there was the part about the children, if they're having like disagreements or something. What was it? What was it that you do
But
with?
as a Waldorf kindergarten teacher, if two children are having a struggle with each other, then it's good to get them a play date outside of school. So then they have some experiences together to
Hmm.
bring a new element into
Hmm.
their school friendship.
Hmm.
And that seems to work. And so whatever I was watching on YouTube was saying something similar, and I was agreeing because
Uh-huh.
as a teacher, I learned this and found this to to be good.
Yeah, so I can't help now, of course, now that I know that there's this thing that you're working through in waking life. I,
Yes.
the practical psychological part of my way of looking at things is, like, if I get it, if, one of the things I'm weighing is, what happens if we disagree or we're not getting along and I'm in her I'm in one of her places that I'm going to see her and be around
Yes.
her. And what if,
Yes.
something is not okay?
Sure. That's a
That, that there's an option, there's a possibility. And not only do I think so, but there's like some you know, proven whatever research, let's say,
yes.
like that there's a way, like there's a silver lining, there's a way that this can be worked out.
I like that.
Yeah.
Actually,
Um,
it's not a silver lion. I mean, it's not a
so,
silver lining, it's a blonde lion.
right. Yeah. And so what do we make of that? I mean, the lion certainly could, oops, sorry, let me shut that off.
I
Certainly
have
could symbolize
so many,
the
so
courage,
many associations.
but also like a lion is just like
Yeah. Well,
fierce,
Aslan,
beautiful.
Aslan, C.S. Lewis, Lion, the
Hmm.
Witch, and the Wardrobe. Aslan is symbolic of God, the lion and the Christ being, I've heard, connected. And I can't help but think of my mom because she was blonde and a blonde.
Oh,
She even looked a little bit like a lion in the 80s with the big hair.
can't see it because it's blurry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Right.
it just did a little bit. Yeah, it's like it's
That's right.
blurred like the backgrounds for some
Yeah.
reason. So.
So I can't help but think of her. But
Hmm.
also my son Lev, his name means lion. So
Oh,
like Leo the lion, Leo Tolstoy, they called him Lev,
yes.
that means lion.
Yeah. Okay.
Um and so that was another thing I'm thinking of.
So, I'm embodying the lion right now. I'm embodying
Yes.
that
Yeah, I
aspect,
will too.
right? I'm embodying that, and it feels really, yeah, like maybe channeling a little bit of your mom and the love that you feel towards her,
Yes.
and whatever special quality she had. Maybe I'm channeling that. Um,
You Gemini.
why do you say that?
My mom was a Gemini.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. When was her birthday? Just curious.
June 19th.
Okay, she's towards the end. Um, yeah, I mean, when I'm feeling into this, it feels so good to me, actually.
I know.
It feels really good. It feels really positive. Like this is all possible because I have like a fierceness to me. I have this love. I'm channeling the spirit world, let's say, through the lion.
I
And
concur with the best of them.
yeah, and there's beauty and there's spirit and there's courage and there's fierceness and all those qualities I feel in the lion.
Yeah, oh
And
yeah, and I didn't mention this, but it's not a lioness. It's a lion with a mane,
a
male
male.
lion.
Yeah, okay, that's
But that
interesting.
reminds me of another association, which is I've had questions, along my life and concerning my kids and what what do what is my alliance with fathers of said kids. But I learned that just from observing lionesses, there's no confusion. You know, the
Uh-huh.
lionesses will protect the cub even from the cub's father.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's like there's a ferocity protecting the cubs,
Yes.
and so I learned a lot about how to be a woman by watching a female lioness,
Mm,
because there's no confusion there.
mm,
And I can like talk myself into much confusion, with
Hmm.
a lot of different things um, to do with loyalty, but it's very simple. It's actually quite simple. So,
Yeah.
but that's the female lion. This in the
Yeah.
dream was definitely male.
Right. So the male sort of, yeah, what's different for you about a male, right? So we know about the female, who's the fierce mama
I feel
protector.
like he's I feel like he's lazier. She's a huntress. but but you know, he has the authority, you know.
Right.
He has
And
the
so
roar.
maybe
Well,
there
I
is
guess she
something
can.
about authority, maybe there is something like I have, like it's blonde, like your mom. So you're
Yes.
channeling sort of whatever that is,
Yes.
and, not you. I am
Yes.
channeling,
Yes. Yes.
my lovely mom, which is very feminine and loving, and
I'm blonde. Mhm.
blonde. Well, blonde, I think, is the representation of what maybe maybe it means something else. I don't know. The dumb blonde, I probably
Oh
doesn't
well,
mean.
I don't because my mom, my aunt. I mean, we're not naturally blonde, although we do have some Polish
Uh,
ancestry. But
okay.
well, actually, and my aunt does have blue eyes. We also have Austrian. We have um a lot of the women in my family bleach their hair.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's a blonde.
So, so maybe it's just somehow a representation of family, of
And like the matriarchs in
my
my
inner
family.
family. Yeah, matriarch, and
It's
yeah.
interesting because in the dream, I know I don't specifically say, I ask her if she would like a blonde lion, this other woman who seems to be here. And she's not sure. And so then I'm not sure.
Ah,
She's not sure. And I also am not sure. And then I think that's where I wake up. And then there's the thing about positive and negative ramifications. Well, I actually
yeah.
don't remember exactly where that is, but
That was, yeah, that's, I think you said that at the end, and that was a very interesting way of saying. But I mean,
yes.
actually, in a lot of ways, it does, you know, it really does feel like working through something in waking life.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, I mean, I'm sure it could have deeper spiritual meaning,
Mm.
but it feels like that's a really important decision, and that the dream might be kind of hashing out some of those options. Like if she's not sure, I wonder, why is her decision changing my decision?
Mm.
Why is, if she's not sure, why do I then have to not be sure when I was already, when I thought that was a good idea?
Oh,
I'm curious about that in myself. Like,
yes.
did I let myself, why do I let myself, am I letting myself get swayed by her decision?
Very good
Or,
question.
yeah,
Very, very good. Yeah.
yeah,
So that's something I'll have to look at. I
yeah.
also am thinking of another association I have with a blonde lion. Do you know the story of Christian the lion? In the 70s, these two English guys are going by like Lords of London or whatever, and there's a lion cub in the window that they're selling. So the two guys buy this little lion cub and they raised this lion and they used to run around in the big courtyard of a church. Maybe that's why they named him Christian. I don't know. But also C.S. Lewis associates Christianity with the lion, as we said earlier. But they always let him run around. And then when he got very large, they rehomed him on like a sanctuary, a wild animal sanctuary in Africa. And then they
Mm,
went to go see him, and by then he had mated, he had a mate, and he had cubs. And people warned them, well, once the lion is a wild lion, but that lion was just like their baby kitty,
Oh,
came right up to them.
so
I,
sweet.
I, I was so into the Christian the Lion
Oh, I don't,
story for
I
a
don't
long
think
time.
about that. That's so
I'm
sweet.
gonna I'm gonna email it to you.
Like oh God, animals. Like I can't even. I'm like addicted to all the nature shows with wild animals and
Me
just
too.
yeah, just in a lot of ways like how we are all so similar. We're all so
Mhm.
similar, really. We all have those very basic, obviously we have intellect, we have different,
Yeah,
but
communication.
very
And I
basic.
was thinking, because scientists were only just discovering, or maybe I'm just late to the party, but that dolphins can recognize each other's sounds and
Oh, yeah.
voices.
Yes,
Right. And but of course I call you, I know it's you. Or like if someone
sure.
calls me, oh, it's Ellen. We recognize each other's voices. Why wouldn't dolphins?
Right, of
You
course.
know?
Why why
Why
wouldn't
not?
they? Right?
Of course they
Well,
would.
because we feel like we're so superior.
Don't we? I
you
know.
know, like, oh, only we have this and that and
Well,
no. Yeah,
dolphins don't have thumbs.
that's well, this is true. But they have other gifts that we
Yes,
don't.
indeed, they do.
What was I just something just made me think something you said. Oh, this is off topic, but you
Okay.
just mentioned C.S. Lewis.
Yes.
Did you see I forget the name of it, but it was a movie about Freud. Like I think it's something Freud's last visit or
I
last
don't think
Freud's
so.
last patient or something like that.
Oh,
It's so good.
and it was
Uh,
C.S. Lewis?
and it was apparently they don't really know for sure, so it's not necessarily historically correct, but
Okay.
it's possible that
It's my
they
kind of movie.
yes, it was so good, and so it's a visit, but it's like a session, but it's a visit, and it was very, very, very good. I thought it was
I will
great,
watch it.
and it
Thank you
was
for
so
asking.
insightful about Freud. I mean, things I didn't know.
Yes.
Um, yeah, what a crazy nut, but also brilliant. How it goes.
But also the father of psychotherapy.
Yes, father of psychotherapy, and did some really pretty messed up things with his daughter. I mean,
Oh,
she
okay.
was a brilliant psychotherapist in her own right, but he psychotherapized her, which is like a serious, super, absolute 100% no no. You
Absolutely.
right. So anyway, very interesting. So anyway,
Okay, I will
that's
watch
the
it.
best
Always,
connection.
always looking for good movies.
Yeah. So let's see. What else? Let me see if there's with other elements. Children. Um, it's interesting that you were watching YouTube
I
in
know.
the dream. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know why? Because this is on YouTube. So
exactly.
YouTube. Um, I
Oh,
don't
the
know.
dream stream. Ah,
Stream is on YouTube. Well,
oh,
it's
that's
also
so funny.
it's too, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any significance
Well,
to
now
that.
I'm going to just take this moment and ask all of our listeners, please send this podcast to a friend or two, because I just want to grow our audience. I think what we're doing is interesting to anyone. And especially if you've got a special fondness for spirituality and dreams in general, or dreams in particular. And so help me build our station.
Yeah. How can they do that, Yiska? How can they help specifically?
They can watch this on YouTube or
Mhm.
even listen to it on any other podcast
And they need to
platform.
subscribe, right, in order to
And then
build a
you subscribe. And so they should subscribe. And then you can copy and paste the
yeah,
link
send
into
it to your
anyone's.
friends, post it on Facebook.
Yeah,
If
I think so. I
yeah.
was trying to call last night. John Delaney has this comedian thing on Netflix and it was live. And he
Hmm.
was like, we're talking about the paranormal. Call this number. I must have called it like 100 times. Like what I used to do when I was trying to win concert tickets on the radio when I was a
I
kid,
remember that. I
you
remember
know?
the
So,
day.
but then I think he was really talking about the paranormal in LA, and I'm not in LA, so maybe that's why they didn't never. I don't know, but I thought that might be a way to spread the word, but no such luck.
Hmm.
Perhaps this
Yeah.
can be another way.
Follow us on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. I think is the podcast is on
Mine is on SoundCloud, but it's on Shutterfly or not Shutterfly, Spotify, or you know
yeah.
any other
Yeah.
platform.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really important to talk about dreams. I mean, sometimes they're, the significance is like maybe what today is, in at least in my estimation, is working through something, but that's important too because the
Yes,
dreams give us this sort of shed a light on something that's unconscious, a way through a new idea about something that we're trying to work out in our waking life, right? Some
yes,
some new perspective.
yes. I
Um,
find it interesting that I specifically say in the dream, I think that a blonde lion would make anyone happy.
hmm
And to me,
Yeah.
that's like, but you can't just put a band aid, right? Sure, that like
Yes.
it's almost like I'd rip the band aid off, you know, like go deeper
So,
than just
so
than
is are what you saying is that you think that the blonde lion is just like, here, this take this and it'll be nice kind of thing? Like this will be make it okay, and that's the band-aid?
yes,
Okay.
yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
Just just then,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
my only thought about this dream.
That's interesting. And that's kind of, there's so many ways to explore a dream, right? And for me, just generally speaking, I do like either Jungian or
Yes,
the psychological
yes,
aspects of things. Um, so that makes sense. Like if you're looking at it like that,
yes,
like how is this, who, if I'm that aspect of it, like how can I look at that as a healing for myself? I mean, that is what
yes,
we're always just generally looking for.
yes,
So maybe that's something interesting to look at, like not
very
just
much.
not just making a superficial shift, but something a bit.
Exactly, exactly. Like a blonde lion, it's a lovely idea. We look at it so beautiful in the wind. Here's back to your wind. It
Yeah.
the mane
Right.
blowing in the wind, and
Mhm.
it's such a beautiful thing. But go deeper.
Yeah.
Not just the physical, but what does the lion stand for? The
Mm.
lion has his pride. His family is his pride, but pride, and
Yeah.
then also, well, I had said courage before, and of course that is the Wizard of Oz lion, right?
Ah, yes, right,
He needs courage,
right.
so there's a lot of metaphors that the
Yeah,
lion
yeah,
can fill.
yes,
Yes.
definitely, definitely, right. Courage, fierceness,
Hmm.
the king of the jungle,
Hmm. That's
right? I
right.
mean, lion is the king of the jungle, so that's interesting too. It's like a sense of power,
Yes.
and if we are looking at it as like each thing or being in the dream is a part of yourself,
Yes.
you can look at how
I am the
you
lion.
you have all of those aspects, of yourself.
Courage and pride
uh,
and,
and
you
and
know,
fierceness, even though, right, you're
fierceness.
a lioness, but you're, still a lion is fierce,
Yeah.
and sort of kind of rules the roost. And maybe the rules the roost part is, maybe that has something to do with the actual situation, in
Right.
waking, that you have some control, you have control over how things get, how you rule, how you
Yes.
are ruler of your kingdom, kind of thing.
Yes.
You don't have to give it up to that other person who says, I don't really want, your friend says, I don't really want, I'm not sure about the lion. And then you question yourself.
Right. That's
right?
right.
"Oh, I don't really want, I don't think I," or whatever she says, "I don't want the blonde lion." And you say, "Oh, well, maybe I don't either."
Right.
But if you
Maybe it's,
embody that, then you're like, "I know what I need. I know how
yeah,
to do this."
maybe I don't want the lion because I am the lion.
Oh, oh. And if you're her, you know, she's some reflection of a part of yourself too.
That's like shy to take control or to be in charge or
Yeah, I
to,
don't know, whatever the vibe was, is that what it felt like for her? She just didn't want it for that real. Maybe she just didn't need it. Maybe she just felt like she's good. She's okay. She doesn't need, she has what she needs over here. She doesn't need that
right, maybe,
as a projection.
right,
Yeah.
protection, right, okay, right. The lion feels like for protection.
Well, I said
'Cause-
projection as my projection, but
oh, I
protection.
thought you said for
Yeah. No, I
protection.
was saying I'm projecting that. I'm just projecting that.
Because
But
the lions came up when we're talking about fear. And
mhm.
I'm saying everybody has fear.
Yes.
Everybody has
Oh,
fear.
yes, that's right.
And that's why they are being given, and it's not me who's giving them. It's some being given. It's some spiritual. I don't know what. They're
Mhm.
being given a blonde lion for protection.
Oh, okay. Did you say that? Was that in the dream? Yeah.
I
You did.
well, I said the fear part. Everybody feels fear, and so they are given a blonde lion. So
Right.
yes,
Okay. So that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So you could say I'm all those things. I'm protected.
yes,
I'm fierce. I know I'm, I'm very embodied. I know myself. I know what I need. I know how to rule my kingdom.
yes. I like it.
Yeah. May or may not provide an answer to your to the waking life issue, but there might be something in it for you.
It's food for thought, as all imagery in our dreams
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you so much. You've given
Yeah.
me a lot of insightful things to ponder.
Hmm. Cool. Yeah. That's a
Cool.
really interesting dream. I like the image of the blonde lion.
I know. I
I
know.
also just felt like a blonde lion is like an not an anomaly, is an anomaly. Would that be the word?
Hmm.
It's like a thing that doesn't really exist exactly. I mean, maybe it does somewhere, but
It does on YouTube.
it does on
No,
YouTube. Yes.
really.
Yeah, it's like, so that's interesting too. It's just something very
Yes,
unique to you, as the dreamer, very unique to the dreamer,
right.
right? Very special somehow.
It feels
Whatever.
really so special.
Yeah, yeah, you're
Yes,
a special talisman in a way.
like that.
Thanks so much for sharing that
Yes.
dream.
Thank you for working with me on it.
Uh,
So
yeah,
good, because I have been asking for like guidance about this move that I may or may not take and or engage. And as I know that I don't know everything. I don't know many things. So
yeah,
I'm asking for some guidance. So I'm
yeah,
going to take this dream as that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guess also this is a total projection, but I love that my friend is in my kitchen. Like that feels so
Yes.
community. That's the thing that
Yes.
I long for so much.
Yes.
Something nice
I
about,
like that. So
yeah,
that's a really positive thing.
yeah.
And it's true, if we're ever scrapping with each other, just get together and hang out.
Right. Maybe that's what that is. We're hanging out to see if we can work out the things. Yeah.
Because we've known each other for, you know,
Time,
almost
right?
30 years now,
Wow. That's wild.
in our adult life, obviously.
That's a long time though.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. All right.
Well, thank you so much, my dream sister.
Yes, you are most welcome. And I'm gonna. It's funny that I actually have a new therapist who works with dreams.
Oh, really?
She does other things too. And but she's like, okay, let's bring me a dream. I haven't had a therapist say bring me a dream in
Oh my
maybe
gosh,
ever.
that's
And
awesome.
so
A Jungian.
I'm all excited about it, but my I'm not dreaming now. It's so crazy. It's like, really, I have this opportunity to work a dream with like somebody who's like on next levels of dream interpretation and dream lore.
Sure,
I'm like
sure.
blank, empty. So
Well,
I'm
I recommend just open your dream journal randomly, do a little bibliomancy, say, what dream should I work? Open it and see, oh yeah, I
yeah.
overlooked that one. Or
Yeah, I guess you're right. I never think of looking at dreams like the ones that I had way back, kind of
yes,
thing, because I think, oh, they're not significant, but I think
but
they
they
are.
are, because
Yeah.
if we believe, as I think we do, that nothing befalls an individual that hasn't already happened in a dream, as is written in the Talmud,
Mm,
then sometimes we do have to look back.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, the
Yeah.
dream that I just shared is from many months ago.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I think it's directly speaking to me in
Right.
this situation.
Yeah. 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 Cool. Cool. Right on.
Well, thank you again, Ellen. And thank you, listeners. We hope you got a lot out of it, and hope you've chosen your dream buddy and you're sharing your dreams regularly now. That's what we're all going for.
Yes, and reach out. I'm not sure how they can reach out to you or us. If you want
You,
to work a dream with us on
YouTube.
podcast, YouTube, okay, you can somehow reach out. I don't know all the technical stuff, so
If you really want to find me, I think you can.
but
YouTube, and
tell
I also
people to
have
reach out. You have to be a little more
the
specific.
Dream Stream on Facebook. I have a page.
Dream Stream on Facebook. Reach
Yep.
out. Yiskah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
and we
Well, sweet
say,
dreams, everyone.
Holamod Metukim.